Okay, we have a quick video today of adding the second battery to your pedal e-bike. This process should be the same for all-wheel drive or rear-wheel drive. This is an all-wheel drive version. First thing you got to do is you got to take the battery out of the bike. I've already done so. Once you take the battery out, you will be able to remove the 4 bolts that hold in the seat. Seat comes right off. Now, first thing you're going to see is this one big jumbled wire mess. You're going to want to take a picture of that. I would say take many pictures of that. You don't want to forget where all those wires go. Once you figure out where all those wires go, then we'll get into the unplugging. But the first thing we got to do is we got to mount the battery to the frame. The kit doesn't come with a whole lot, but it does come with the mount and the battery controller to join the two together. After you pull the battery out of the box, these are the parts that it comes with. You'll get the mounting bracket, you'll get some mounting screws, mounting pads, the battery combiner, and some keys. First step we do is we're going to mount the battery holder and pads to the bike. You're going to use those screws there. I'm going to use a little Loctite on mine. Place the mounting pads right there. You'll place the mounting bracket on top, put the screws on, and that'll complete that portion. And that's what it should look like when it's done. It's a little fiddly getting those screws and holding it at the same time and making sure the rubber bushings on the bottom are nice and where they should be. So this should be tight, no movement whatsoever. Then you're going to take that wire and you're going to run it just like this loosely. So you got the wire from here. It's going to run up to here and it's going to be like that, just loosely. Then comes the fun part. You got to deal with all of this. To deal with that, you're going to need to cut all of these zip ties. There's those, they run here. You're going to end up cutting all of those off because you're going to have to re-zip tie them. So make sure you have plenty of zip ties with you. So get all those cut off so you can now put the battery on this thing. This is your battery doubler. It's got to go in there. Yeah, you're gonna have to do a lot of rewiring here. So let's get started. I cut off all the zip ties to here. Those you don't have to cut off. But now what you're gonna do to make all this work, or how I do it, I'm going to start pulling these out because I've got to create a gap to pull this. So take all of these thick wires, start pulling them gently out so you can get some space in here. And when I said this will be fiddly, I'm not kidding. So what I did, as you can see, as I pulled these black thick wires as far out of the way as you can. It's cold right now, so they're kind of stiff. All these connectors get pulled up out of the way. You should probably take pictures of everything, making sure you know exactly where things were. You do not want to plug things in the wrong way. You're dealing with LiPo batteries here with a lot of volts. So what you're going to want to do is find out which one of these is your battery that's in the tray here. And then this is the battery here that we're adding. So they're going to have 2 connectors that go into your battery doubler. And this is a balance pack. So this 2AB are your in batteries that go to out. So how I find out which one it is if you look down at all these black wires. I don't know if you can see it. This one's coming from the battery tray, and that's going up to this guy here. That is the battery from the bike. So you can see now I've got the battery blender in there, and all these wires are hanging out. Before we do anything, the next thing we got to do is we got to test all of this, that it's working. So now it's time to put the batteries back in the bike. Make sure the batteries are in the off position when you install them. Okay, so I got both batteries installed. What we're gonna do is I'm gonna turn on the back battery first. Okay, that's a good sign. Let's go ahead and turn the bike on. Okay, that's with one battery. Now I'm going to shut this battery off. Now I'm going to turn this battery on. And let's turn the bike on. That's with the second battery. So that's one battery on, the other battery off. Let's turn the bike off. That battery is still on. Now we're going to turn on this battery. Battery's on. Check it. Battery's on. Check it. Put the power to the bike. We have both batteries now running on the bike. Again, make sure you plug things in the right direction. If you're not familiar or comfortable with this type of stuff, don't do it. Now the fun part is getting all of that zip tied down. These longer cables, I had to pull them out some, so they're probably going to be sticking out. So we're just going to zip tie them all up, and they'll probably be hanging up under here, but that's okay. We'll zip tie them up. It'll look clean. Be right back. After some fiddling and poking and prodding and pulling, you'll have all the wires pressed down, zip tied. Make sure to test the bike one more time before putting the seat back on. Okay, so there it is. The seat's on. The cables are all neat and tidy, and the extra battery's on. I did it a little one extra and added some zip ties to this battery. It's a heavy battery, only held on by two little bolts. I don't really trust it in a bumpy situation. That's what I did. You can come up with other ways to do it or not do it at all. That's your adventure. So this is how I'm doing it. Once you're done with this, remember you have two batteries to charge, so your charging time is going to be doubled. Or if you charge both of them at the same time, it'll probably be about the same time as charging one. If you have two chargers. This does not come with a charger. You would use the one that came with the bike. You can buy other chargers on Amazon, 5-amp ones. They'll speed up your charging time. As you saw in the electric area, you saw all those wires. Just something to keep in mind. This bike gets wet or water anywhere, you go through a deep puddle. Remember where your battery switches are. Shut your batteries off immediately. Something shorts out inside here, gets wet, and these batteries go to overheated, they could explode. Enjoy.